Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be testing out the Super Boost Skin Tint from Makeup Forever. I picked up a sample at my local Sephora. It retails for $36 and I personally picked up the shade 03, which is described as fair skin with yellow undertones. It has 18 shades and it does seem to go relatively deep. The texture was actually a lot creamier than I expected. For some reason I was expecting something super watery, but this one was actually much more creamy. Not thick at all, but just you can feel the richness in it. I dotted it around one half of my face and I wanted to try applying it with a foundation brush. I'm just using my one from It Cosmetics. It blended in super easily, super seamlessly. It did not sit on top of the skin. You can see that it only gives around sheer to light coverage, which is expected for a skin tint. It's definitely not a foundation at all. You can see my skin peeking through, but it definitely does a good job at evening everything out. And you can see here the before and after. One side is without the skin tint and one side is with. It doesn't even really look like I'm wearing makeup, but you can definitely see an overall evening out and slight perfecting. So on the other side of my face, again, I'm just sort of dotting it around and spreading it out with my fingers like I did on the first side. And then I am pouncing it in with my AOA beauty sponge. I love these sponges. They're so squishy. I definitely could tell right away that with the sponge I was getting much less coverage, probably sheer coverage, and so I did have to go in with another layer on this side and build it up. That's to be expected and pretty normal with a sponge. It does tend to soak up some of the product, so just something to keep in mind. I actually prefer applying it with a brush just because then it's a little bit faster. You don't have to go in with another layer. It gives you a tiny bit more coverage. The sponge though does give just this tiniest little bit more hydration, I would say, but it's super subtle. Here's the skin tint applied. I think it looks really pretty, sheer to light coverage, and yeah, I'm really happy with how it's sitting on my skin. It's not clinging to any of the dry patches. It's not clinging to any peach fuzz, and it seems to be just looking super natural. I applied the rest of my makeup and I noticed that the skin tint still felt pretty tacky, so I did go in and set it with a translucent powder just to really give it the best chance of wearing the longest. Everything else applied beautifully on top, but it did not set fully, so just something to keep in mind. If you have extremely oily skin, then you definitely are going to have to go in and set this really well. So I started my wear test at around 1:36 p.m. I really liked how everything looked, how everything applied on top of it. Initially, it was really reminding me of the Fenty Beauty Hydrating Soft Lit Foundation, which you guys know is one of my all-time favorites, but with much less coverage. But just the texture and the way that it felt going on the skin was very similar. So this is about 8 hours later. It's 9:47 p.m. So I've been wearing the foundation all day long, and you can see that around my mouth and my chin, it is pretty much completely worn off. Throughout the day, I did notice about an hour into the wear, it had started settling into my smile lines and, you know, just any sort of creases I had on my face. So it's definitely not a crease-proof skin tint. Overall, I think it looks pretty good for a full day wear. And you can see that actually on my forehead, it did not really wear off at all because it was sort of protected by my bangs. I wasn't touching up there. And then 5 hours in, and I think you can see a little bit here, it had started almost sinking into my pores and sort of bunching up and making these little dots on my face, bunching out. It was like separating in my pores. And again, it had worn off everywhere except pretty much my forehead. So overall, I like it, but it is pretty expensive, so I don't know if it's fully worth it. It does have some nice skincare ingredients, but it's not going to be one of my holy grail products. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll catch you in my next video.